Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I will be comparing two Sony cameras with different body types. The Sony A6400, an E-mount camera which was introduced in 2019. It is an advanced mirrorless camera with 24 megapixel APS-C sensor. And the A-mount camera Sony A230, which was introduced in 2009. It is an entry-level DSLR camera with 10 megapixel APS-C sensor. As you can see, the A230 is 10 years older than the A6400. But let's see if the age difference between these two cameras makes a big difference. There is no doubt that the A6400 is better than the A230. In this test, I just want to show you how the APS-C cameras have developed within 10 years. First of all, I would like to go into the biggest differences between these cameras, and then there was a picture comparison test. As I mentioned at the beginning, the A6400 has 24 megapixel and the A230 has only 10 megapixel. The A6400 has a 3-inch tilting touchscreen with live view and can record videos in 4K. The A230 has a fixed screen without any live view and it has no video mode. Furthermore, the A6400 can go up with the ISO to 32,000. The A230 can go up only to 3,200. Also, one of the biggest differences are the focus points. The A6400 has a very good autofocus system with 425 autofocus points. What do you think? How many focus points does the A230 has? It's only 9. Yes, exactly, only 9 focus points. The A6400 is superior in almost every aspect, but the A230 does also have a big advantage. It has a stabilized sensor. Only the A6500 and A6600 have this feature these days. But now let's go into the side-by-side image comparison of both cameras. First, I will test both cameras with their original kit lenses. Afterwards, I will also do a test where I attach the old A230 kit lens on the A6400 to see how good both cameras perform with the same lens. So, have fun! Okay, back on our side-by-side comparison. You see here on the left side the A230 and on the right side the A6400. As always, I've used the same settings. I've used an ISO 100, the aperture of 7.1, and unfortunately I missed the same angle here. I've used for the first comparison test the 18mm, but the focus point is always on the house here. What you see directly is that the A230 is a little bit brighter, but the A6400 has a better dynamic range. You see much more colors and of course you see much more details because we are comparing here 24 megapixel between 10 megapixel. But what does it mean? Let's zoom in. And yes, of course, you see much more details here in the trees, on the house. And that is a huge difference. 10 megapixel between 24 megapixel. So on the A6400 you have the possibility to reduce the megapixel down to 12 megapixel. Now you can see the difference between 10 megapixel on the A230 and 12 megapixel on the A6400. The same result, of course, the A6400 has a better dynamic range. But what about the details? Let's zoom in. Let's reframe it. And here again, you see much more details, a better dynamic range, also on 12 megapixel. Okay, on the next picture, we're comparing 55mm against 50mm on the A6400, and both pictures looks good. Of course, again, the A6400 has a better dynamic range and you see much more details. Let's zoom in. Let's reframe it a little bit. Yes, you see much more details here, better contrast. It's a huge improvement here of the A6400. But let's compare 10 megapixel against 12 megapixel. And as you can see, the picture on the A6400, again, it looks much better. Let's zoom in. Let's reframe it. And you see much more details here. So for the next comparison, I've mounted the kit lens of the A230 with an adapter on my A6400, and then you can see how good the camera performs with the same lens. Okay, here again, you see directly the A6400 has a better dynamic range, but the differences are now not that huge like on the other pictures. That means the kit lens of the A6400 is of course much better than the A230. Let's zoom in. And as you can see now on 100%, the A6400 does not perform so good like on the other pictures with the native kit lens. In this sample it shows you exactly how important good lenses are. In this comparison I can't see so many differences. For me, also with the 24 megapixel resolution, it's the same. So what do you think about the A230? I think with a better lens it can perform much better, but unfortunately I don't have a better A-mount lens for this camera. Do you have any experience with the A230? Please write it in the comments. And if you like this test, I would be happy if you can leave a like and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.